So I thought that I had a handle on my health. And I thought that like everything that I researched was going to help me. So I spent, so much money on supplements. I was doing really high intensity training like twice a day because I thought that was like the cure. At that point, I really only like trusted myself, even though I wasn't helping myself at all. That's not normal to like jump a little bit and your knees just like hurt so badly. So I know I was like super inflamed. Definitely like weight gain. I hate to even say that as a symptom because that really was what I was focused on at the time. But that was like I would gain, I mean, I would step on the scale and I was like 10 pounds heavier after a week. And I was like, that's just not normal. That's not food intake. I was barely eating anything. So definitely like weight gain out of nowhere. I was tired. I was depressed. I was like, had a lot of anxiety. I mean, I feel like the list just goes on. I was infertile. We were trying for 2 years. I had a miscarriage. Just like there were just, it was endless symptoms. And then we had gone to try an IUI after like maybe a year and a half, maybe a little less than a year and a half. And no one was like really listening to me. Like I knew there was something that I could try to fix myself, but even like my OBGYN was like, they just don't believe in like, you can heal it yourself or you can do it without IUI, things like that. So I ended up making an appointment with the IUI doctor. And he was just really weird. I didn't vibe with him. And the podcast was with you. And it was all about like hormones and stuff. And that's when I reached out to you. Like I had scheduled the IUI and everything. And I remember you saying like, just don't do it yet. Just like, trust me, we're going to start working together and like, we'll figure it out. So I ended up canceling that. I never followed through with IUI and then we started working together. I've always been one to first like trust my body and trust my gut. And I knew something was wrong with my body. I knew that you shouldn't be gaining 10 pounds in a week. You shouldn't have a hard time jumping up and down. There were just so many things in my body that I knew weren't right. And I wanted to figure that out and have a healthy home for growing a baby instead of going over everything that my body was telling me and doing an IUI. And the reason I wanted to do an IUI was because I just felt like giving up at that point. I felt like, okay, I want this to happen, striving right now. And I didn't want to work for it anymore. But I think that wanting to have a healthy body for the baby was overriding that at that point. And I knew that I needed to get my body right before I did anything else. And it didn't really take me, I mean, it seemed like it dragged on forever, but I think after 6 months of working with you, I got pregnant. So it didn't take me that much longer. Who knows if IUI would have worked anyway. So it was definitely the right choice. But yeah, it was not even that it was a hard decision because I knew it was the right decision. I guess a lot of the time my reason was like, oh, I want to look better for my husband or whatever. But you need something bigger to want to like stick to something. And my bigger reason was, I wanted to start a family and I didn't want it to have to take any longer. And I really wanted my body to be in a good place. It's not like I feel amazing, but I don't feel horrible. Like at that time, I didn't even know how badly I felt because I lived like that for years. And a lot of people, I'm sure everyone experiences this, is people say, oh no, you're okay. Like it's all in your head, or, it's just like a little problem, or no, you don't have that. So you start to not believe it yourself, but you always have to trust your intuition because you know when something is off in your body. I mean, I couldn't imagine having a baby when I wanted to. Like, I feel like it happened when it was supposed to. So I feel like everything happens in the timing that it's supposed to happen. I mean, as much as like going through it was really painful, I don't really remember that pain anymore. Like, I don't remember that, like, 2 years of like longing for a family and being so disappointed every month. Like, we have so much joy right now, and that person will have that too. Like, you won't, it's always going to be in the back of your head, but you won't remember like that the joy will overpower the pain that you went through. I think that people really put 100% of their faith in their doctors, but doctors aren't trained in, nutrition, things like that. Like your doctor really truly believes that, your only option is an IUI or IVF or Clomid or whatever. There's definitely more out there. I think that people need to look further into it. And, there were things that I really didn't know. And once I got to know you and knew how knowledgeable you were, I definitely trusted you a lot more. Whereas I didn't have that before. I didn't have someone that I could lean on before. Like I was really going through it alone because I didn't know anyone else that was having this experience. And so I think I really trusted you more once I realized your credentials and the other girls who'd gone through the program that I could talk to and that were like, we're here for you. We've been through this before. We're out on the other side. Like you're going to get through it. Again, I feel like I tell you this all the time, but I really think about it like every day. Like not even just that we were able to have a family because of your help, but I feel like just like my mindset, like I'm so happy that I shifted the way I looked at things, and I'm like proud of myself now, and I can look at myself and I'm like, I like, what I see in the mirror and things like that. And I didn't feel that way before working with you. And like, that is something, I mean, I want everyone to feel. And it's something that like, you can't put a price tag on that. And I remember you saying it was like more about your mindset and less about like what you're eating and what you're supplementing and blah, blah, blah. And I hated that you would say that because I was like, I wanted something that was easier. I wanted someone to tell me this is what you need to eat. This is the supplement that you have to take. They did help me, but I think, even more so now, like my mindset is more of what is helping me with everything and just kind of like letting go too. Like I remember you saying that to me all the time, just like let go of your expectations. And I'm definitely a perfectionist, so that was hard for me too. But yeah, it was like a lot of like mindset shifts. Even with like body image stuff, when I came to you, I feel like it was so horrible. Like I felt so bad about myself. And before I got pregnant, I obviously like lost a lot of weight and was like exercising the way my body needed it and blah, blah, blah. But right now, postpartum, I'm only 5 weeks postpartum and my body looks pretty normal, like pretty comparable to when I started with you. But I just feel so like appreciative of my body and confident in my body that even though I look similar to when we first started working together, I'm like, I look at myself and I'm proud of myself and I like the way I look, as to where beforehand I would look at myself and I would like not want to leave the house. It's just so much more about like, mindset. And I think that was a big thing working with you too.